Okay. What's going on, good people? How we doing? Happy Wednesday, happy hump day to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good start to their week. Before we get started, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Give me a thumbs up or just let me know that I'm good in the chat section. Um, Interesting week. 4 weeks left in the season. Hopefully everybody got caught up with Hard Knocks. Giants really not making any noise on Hard Knocks, so if you're not watching it, it is what it is. But I'm gonna do a quick shout out to the people that are already in the building. Shout out to the 19 already in the building watching. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. It'll let the algorithm know that we in the building, and the algorithm will let other Giants fans know that we are absolutely in the building. What's going on, Big Blue Nation? How are we doing tonight? First on the list is Don. Don with the what up? What's going on, Don? How you doing? My man Ryan with Big Blue Podcast is in the building. Said, yo, what up, Big Dash? What's going on, Ryan? How you doing? I see you still putting in that work too, as always. Luann in the building with the year. My man Mark Thompson in the building said, I'm here. Of course, the big Moo is in the building. What's going on, Moo? My man Wagner says, salutations. Big Dash, salutations. I'll take it. Big Taz says, Big Dash knows more than Bo Jackson. I wish I did. I wish I did. I forgot about that. The Bo Knows commercials. That's solid right there. I'm sounding good. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Dash was good. What's going on, OKC? I know you're feeling good. Your team is winning. Your basketball team is winning. You guys play tonight? I'm talking about you guys winning in general as far as your record. Shout out to Coach Ed in the building. What's going on, Coach Ed? If you are not subscribed to my man, Coach Ed, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Fantastic Giants content creator and also a fantastic coach. That's a fact. Stacey said, what's good, fam? What's going on, Stacey? How you doing? Ryan says, yes, sir. Went back to Ryan's Big Blue Pod. Much easier for people to know it's me and honestly sounds better to me. So we up. Let's beat Washington. F the tank. That's a fact. F the tank. I'm not with the losing. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those Giant fans that are not with the losing. Even last year when we didn't have a quarterback, I never liked to lose. I like the chips to fall where they may. And guess what? The chips fell where they may, and we ended up with Jackson Dart. So it was a win for us beating the Colts. Because if we didn't beat the Colts, we would have had the number 1 pick, and we probably would have had Cam Ward. I think it worked out pretty well. I really do. Jake Estelle, if I missed you, there you go. My man Dash, what's going on? Let me go ahead and put the comment section up. We do have some things to talk about. Hen Rock in the building. What's going on, Hen? My man Greg T in the building. What's going on, Greg T? Yeah, man, we in the building. Shout out to everybody. Luann says Dart said he wants to win the next 4 games. Yeah, I saw the clip from the presser today from practice. They asked him what he wanted to do. He said he wanted to win. Short and to the point. That's a fact. Arlon, what up? What up? Let's go ahead and get to these talking points for the night. Give me just a moment to put up my talking points. And let me go ahead and minimize the screen just a little bit. Let me get the talking points up. There we go. Actually, I might have to move these comments down for a second. Take the comments down for a second. So you see what we're going to be talking about. And there's some other things I want to talk about too. Shout out to my man, New York State of Mind in the building. So picking the right guy, obviously you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. And I mean that for 2 people. The GM, whoever that GM is going to be, the person that's going to be. And then, of course, the head coach. Next, shutting down players. There's a couple of players that I wouldn't mind shutting down for the season. Some big names too. The Commander game, of course, because we do have the Commanders coming up this week. And then Hard Knocks. Want to touch on Hard Knocks just for a moment. Again, the Giants are not making any noise. Our Hard Knocks features is because we have to be on the show. And then anything else we want to talk about, we get to those chat topics after that. But before we even get into that, I put out a video yesterday talking about a couple of things. But I was talking about how much money Wan'Dale Robinson is going to cost you and how much money. Let me go ahead and put the comments back up since I went through the topics. How much money Jermaine Illuminor is going to cost the New York Giants, man. And I can't have this discussion without getting upset. Shout out to my man Christian Torres in the building. My man JDJ also in the building says the Giants coach have been getting fired over assigned seats, fighting over the last slice of pizza. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Stacy says Ray Agnew for GM, Chris Shula for head coach. To bring back that defensive identity. Ray Agnew, for those that don't know, is the assistant GM, I think, for Detroit, right? Assistant GM for Detroit. And we like what Detroit is doing over there. They seem to be evaluating talent the right way. Some people laughed at them when they took Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. Yeah, and let's see how that worked out. I was one of those people that laughed at Jahmyr Gibbs going in the first round, not laughing at Jahmyr Gibbs as a prospect. I thought he was the best running back in the draft. Just taking a running back in the first round was not, what a lot of people would have done at the time. So they proved everybody wrong. So once you believe in something, no matter who laughs at you, how many people laugh at you, if you believe in that, and look how it's working out for the Detroit Lions right now. Not only is Gibbs a top running back, he's a top playmaker, period, in the NFL. Shout out to my man Phil with the $2 super chat. Said, yo, what's up, Big Dash? Or Yo Dash was good. Dysfunction at its finest. That's a fact. The New York Giants, and I did some research, man. We're going to get into it about, all of the coaches from 1979 to now, the GMs from 1979 to now. You only had 5 GMs since 1979, which is a good thing. Had a few more coaches, 10 coaches over that same time span, and the results vary for sure. For sure. Who's Ferrari? Unless that's a typo. Who's I have not done my GM research yet for who's available out there. There's a couple of organizations that I want to read more about to see who their number 2s are. So if this is a Ferrari guy, I got to put him down in my notes. If he's one of those AGMs out there or something like that. Fabian says coaching, that's a fact. It's dysfunction. It's absolutely dysfunction with the New York Giants. But to my main point, I should say to my first point, we know that, the rumor is that Wan'Dale Robinson is looking for, according to his team, Wan'Dale Robinson's team, he's looking for a 4-year deal, $53 million. You do the math, that averages around, $3.2 million per season, which I'm not mad at the $13 million per season for Wan'Dale. A good slot receiver, that sounds about right. And especially in comparison to some of the top end slot wide receivers like like Amon-Ra. It's not bad money. 13.2 is not bad money for Wan'Dale Robinson, but when you add up everything else with this team, does it make sense for the New York Giants? When you're already paying Darius Slayton $12 million, now you're talking about possibly signing, if you are looking towards signing Wan'Dale Robinson, to another $13 million to add to that wide receiver room, for the next 4 seasons. So that's my first question for you guys. $13.2 million per for Wan'Dale Robinson. Is it a yay? Is it a nay? For the people that in the chat right now, let me know. People watching too. Everybody get involved. Let me know what you guys think. $13.2 million for Wan'Dale Robinson. Are you selling? Are you buying? Let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna get to more of these comments. Shout out to Team Zavala. He said, what up, SA is Dope Boy Zah from Cali. Shout out to Dope Boy Zah. That's your new name. I'm gonna call you that now too, man. I'm gonna call you Dope Boy Zah. He says, once again, we are ass dash praying for the first pick to trade down for a 7th or 8th first round pick. F it, 2nd, 3rd round from the Jets. I think that is absolutely the goal. I hate to be where we are right now, but I said if the Giants win less than 6 games or less than 7 games, people need to be fired. And look at what's happening. People are getting fired. So that prediction I didn't want to come true came true, as far as not getting the results, but also people are paying for it. We're just waiting for one more person to pay for it, and that's Joe Schoen. So we'll see what happens, with that. My man Don Hallstrom says buying all day. All right. OKC says let Wan'Dale walk. Arlan said I'm signing him for 13. Again, this is a rumor. Fabian got the bag signed, money signed with the bag. Get the bag. Arlan says we need to trade Slayton, though. That's where I was headed. That's exactly where I was headed in this conversation. But yeah, we'll see what other people got to say. Greg T said I signed him, but Wan'Dale might end up a casualty. Why would he end up a casualty? Unless you mean Slayton. Slayton cannot end up a casualty because it's too much dead cap if you cut him. The only way it works, or the only way to save money with Darius Slayton, is to find a trade partner for him and somebody takes on that contract. Other than that, we're talking a lot of cap money. A lot of cap money. Lorenzo Pipe says we need to pay Wan'Dale. OKC said get younger and more athletic at wide receiver. Well, Wan'Dale is still young. What's Wandell? Wandell's what, 26, right? About 26 years old. I think that's it. He's still young. He's still young. What's going on, Lorenzo? How you doing, man? Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. Says salute, Dash. Give me either Shula, Hafley, Minta as head coach. I just want to get to Black Monday shows who will be available to get hired. Just want to get the Black Monday shows. Okay, yeah. Also, only sign a Wandell at that price if we can trade Slayton. That's the hardest part, man, because if Wandell gets to free agency, if he makes it to that March, I forget what the date of free agent starts, but there's some teams with a lot of cap space, and they can look at Wandell Robinson like, yeah, we could probably use somebody with that specific skill set, probably use them better than the Giants have. And $13 million is nothing for some of these teams that got that. There's like 4 or 5 teams that got over $100 million in cap space, including the Patriots. I can see the Patriots picking up the phone, calling Wandell and getting something done for him. They got a young quarterback that they want to improve, franchise quarterback, and Drake May. Why wouldn't they want to add somebody like Wandell in certain packages? $13 million for packages is a lot. But again, there's a lot of money out there for teams to spend, just not the New York Giants right now. The New York Giants right now have about $17 million in cap space. That's before any kind of trades, moves, or restructures. So we're not talking about a lot of money. It can be done. It can be done. You can get creative. You can create some cap space. We already know that Bobby Okereke would have get you $9 million back. So that 17 goes to 26 very fast. And then restructures and all this other stuff, but you still got a lot of people to pay. And speaking of that, the next person I want to talk about, hold on, let's see some more. We got some more comments on Wandell before I go to the next person. Hirsch says Wandell is a 3, not a 2. Depends on, the wide receiver room. I think if everything stays the same and we keep Wandell, depending on who we draft, if we draft a wide receiver, Wandell is definitely the number 2 over Darius Slayton. Now, this is by default because normally Slayton would be a 3. Wandell also is a 3. Slayton can actually be a 3-4 after this season. But it just depends on what the rest of the wide receiver room looks like. But Wandell, his production this year, a lot of wide receiver 2s are in that range. He most likes one more good game. If he gets over 100 yards, I think he's only like 140 yards away from 1,000 yards. And that's good wide receiver 2 numbers. Now, he's wide receiver 2, actually wide receiver 1 for us by default because everybody else is either injured or underperforming. But again, I have to put some respect on Wandell Robinson's name. Right now, he's playing better than a 3. But to your point, Hirsch, regular rosters around the league, he's most likely a 3. Let's keep it real. I'll keep it real with you for sure. Wagner Charles said, I sign him for that. What we get for Slayton, I don't know what we're going to get for Slayton. First of all, you get nothing for Slayton. You're trying to unload Slayton. So whatever you can get back is just icing on the cake. You want somebody to eat that contract, pause. That's it. So whatever they give you for Slayton, take it and let them eat the rest of that contract. It's all about getting that cap space. So whatever they want to give you if it's a 6th rounder for Slayton, you take it. And you could probably get a 6th rounder for Slayton. You might be able to get a 5th rounder for Slayton, depending on how needy that team is. Again, Slayton is not a complete bum. I don't think he's a bum at all. It's just that he's not dependable enough for me for the New York Giants. And that's just how I feel about it. Talking about Wandell is limited. He is limited. His stature alone makes him limited. Absolutely. You're not going to get those 50-50 balls downfield. That's not going to happen. Spider-Man. What's going on, Spider-Man? He says, hey, Big Dash, hope all is well. I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Hope all is well with you. Juan is 24. He even younger than I thought. Only 24 years old, man. He's young. We got one of the youngest teams in the league. Luann says, Jets need many wide receivers. I see where you're going with that. I like the 2 pick, like the Mechie and the Mitchell pickup that they have. And I think John Mechie might actually be a free agent after this year. But they picked up 2 good wide receivers. They sure did. They don't have a quarterback, and that's going to be a problem for the Jets. And they have a lot of draft picks. So if the Jets come calling for the number 1 pick, so they can get Mendoza, guess what? I'm picking up the phone. Go ahead and give me those two number 1s you got, because you got a bunch of them. You got a bunch of first round picks in 26 and in 27. Go ahead, come up off 2 of those first round picks, and you can have this, and plus a little bit more too. Because we got the first overall. You can always add a little bit more to that, too. I need a 3rd rounder this year, too, for sure. extra 2, maybe a third round. That'll get it done for me. Born for Sports says, what a stupid decision by Shane signing Slayton to that number. You know what's crazy about that? A lot of people always thought it was going to be high. And the funny thing is Atlanta actually offered him more money than the Giants did. He just took the Giants deal. And remember what he said when he was asked about, he believed in the what's the word that he used? I can't even remember the word that he used, but he said he pretty much believed in where the New York Giants were going, heading. He had trust in the coach and the GM, and you see what that did. It got him paid. It definitely got him paid, but I don't know what he was looking at. Blind faith, which I have as well on certain occasions, but not anymore. Greg T says, just depends. We can make the money work, put it in the bonuses and such, like we are doing with Neighbors. He's only making a little bit over $1 million next season in base salary, 4.5 in the signing bonus. Yeah, you can always play with the cap, depending on what the signing bonus is. Trust it, if they do a 4-year deal, $53 million, a lot of people will say 13.2 per. But obviously, after bonuses and workout bonus and stuff like that, you can make those hits different. Usually, that first year of a new contract, you could probably get his cap hit as low as like $6 million, depending on what you want to do. So there's always ways to manipulate the cap for sure. Lorenzo says, Dash, do you think we are going to hire the coach from Notre Dame? That's an interesting for me too, because a couple of days ago I would have said absolutely not. I'm seeing that his name is heating up. A lot of people are drawing some connections. Shout out to Pat Leonard. Pat Leonard did a show, I think it was yesterday, and he was talking about the connection that Marcus Freeman has with the Giants, and it has a lot to do with Tim McDonald working over there at Notre Dame for a lot of years. So he still has some connections over there. So, if you would have asked me a few days ago, I would have said absolutely not. I don't think he's going to leave after what happened with Notre Dame getting snubbed from the playoffs and them not wanting to play anymore and doing all this other stuff. I don't know, man. I do believe that Marcus Freeman is a leader, especially at the college level. Guys are bought in. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. My thing is this: what kind of staff would he bring? Because this defense with the players that we have, and who was it? Was it Rex Ryan? Rex Ryan said that, with names like this, you just can't hire anybody to coach this defense. You need somebody with some gravitas. Somebody with some cachet to coach this defense. So I don't know. It would depend on what kind of staff he would bring. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not sure about it. You know what I mean? Mark Thompson says, I like the price for Wan'Dale. We can have both Slay and him by keeping the cap low in year 1 and then letting Slayton go in year 3. So just 1 year overlap and still draft a wide receiver. Yeah, there is a lot more cap space in that third year for Slayton, because Slayton signed a 3-year deal. So no, Slayton signed a 2-year deal. No, I gotta look that up. Was it a 3-year deal or a 2-year deal for Slayton? Might have been 3 years actually. Was it 3 for 36, something like that? I think it might have been 3 for 36 for Slayton. So there is some cap relief in 2027 if you want to try to move on from Slayton then. But again, if you're trying to save some money in 2026, the only thing that helps you is a trade when in regards to Slayton. New York State of Mind said they have to keep the O-line intact with possible getting good rotational support or younger proven talent. So that's my next thing right here. And then I'm going to get to the rest of these comments, and I'm going to move on to Jermaine Illuminor, because he tried to keep it PC with his comments, but I got some numbers for you when it comes to Jermaine Illuminor. OKC Donald says, plus Malik need to play out of slot more. He's elite. Yeah, he is elite out of the slot for sure. That's where he got most of his yardage in college, was playing out of the slot where you can't get a hand on him. Can't press him in the slot. He will get his yards on Sunday. You think he getting over 100 yards against the Commanders? It might happen. He might be able to get that. Greg T says Wan'Dale going to be over 1,100 at the end of the season. It's possible. It's possible. Lorenzo said we have to pay. I don't think we have to pay anybody. Luann says trade Hyatt. Who wants him? Who wants him? Because I'll take anything for him right now. Respectfully. Doughboy Zah says get rid of all the scrubs. You got to put some names to that. I think I know what you're talking about, though. Hirsch says Malik and Tate would be nice. Yeah, that's the way I'm leaning right now, too. That'll be my favorite for the 1-2 punch at wide receiver. Trade Slayton, please. Yeah. So Jermaine Illuminor. made a comment saying that he believes or he feels like he is one of the top right tackles in the league right now. That's what he says. And he says he will remain one of the top right tackles in the league until he is done. So, and then he said he doesn't know what his range would be. But again, he feels like he's one of the top right tackles in the league. So whatever that is. So of course I crunched the numbers. And the average price for a top, or I should say the range for a top right tackle in the league right now is anywhere from 18 or $20 million. Hold on. $18 to $20 million. You got guys like Lane Johnson making more than that. Lane Johnson's at like $25 million. Penei Sewell is listed as a right tackle now, but when he signed his deal, I believe he was on the left side then, so he's around $28 million. So $18 to $20 million for Jermaine Eluemunor. And this is another place where Joe Schoen has dropped the ball. Again, I think if you get that deal done in the summer, if Eluemunor was willing to negotiate in the summer, I think that price is a lot less than $18 to $20 million. But he just let it be known to everybody, especially the Giants organization, is he feels like he's a top right tackle. He didn't give us a range, but he said whatever top right tackles make, and that's a $18 to $20 million range. So I'm going to ask you guys this. $18 to $20 million for Jermaine Eluemunor. Are you buying that or are you selling that? Obviously, I would love to keep the line intact. It's all about growth, and I think that Jermaine Eluemunor has at least another 3 to 4 years left in him of good quality play. Offensive lineman can play that long, and I think he will be one of those guys that can play that long. $18 to $20 million for Jermaine Eluemunor. Let me know what you guys think about that. I put a comparison out there in the video. I put up Mike Onwenu, who is the offensive lineman for the Patriots. They did move him inside the guard, but when he signed his contract the same year that we signed Jermaine Eluemunor, he was signed as a right tackle. That's why he's making right tackle money at about $20 million. At $19 million a year. Another guy that I threw up there was Jawaan Taylor, right tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's actually having a down year, but he's also making about $20 million. So we're pretty much stuck in that range, unless we're talking about a hometown discount, which I don't believe he's going to do that because Jermaine Eluemunor has never made real money yet in his career as a journeyman, a UDFA, and stuff like that. Was he a UDFA? All I know is he never really made real money in football terms because $7 million is pretty damn good. But he's looking at a big pay raise. And again, when you're a football player, I'm not going to hate on anybody trying to make their money. So $18 to $20 million for Jermaine Eluemunor. What are we saying? Stacey says reset the cap for all major positions and draft in the areas of need. Sounds like a solution. Ty Guy Bry says, changing the subject completely. How about some New York Giant cheerleaders? Nah, we good on that. We ain't never have them. I don't think we need them. We don't got a mascot either. I don't know. Maybe the vibes change, but I can't imagine that it does. Luann says, I want to keep Slayton. Luann also says, I say leave Kafka as coach. We got 4 games to get a good idea of what Kafka is. You got some winnable games here. You got the Commanders. That's a winnable game. Vikings is a winnable game. The Raiders are a winnable game. And then you end the year with Dallas, and Dallas is hot right now, in my opinion. He got to win some games if you want to keep him. If he doesn't win any games, there's no chance for him. Cue the Vince McMahon music. No chance. That's what you got. Mike Kafka got no chance if he don't win some games. He got to win at least 3 if he wants a real chance. Other than that, they moving on. They moving on for real. Atlantic JM says Freeman's cool, but the name like Shula running around, there's no way I'm sold on Shula. Oh no, it's no way. Talking about Freeman, he's sold on Shula. Okay. I like Shula too. Right now, Shula's top is a top candidate on my list because the person that I do want, everybody keeps telling me, Dash, stop messing around. It's not gonna happen. He's currently suing the NFL. He's currently suing the Giants. Don't you know that he's suing the Giants? Hey, did anybody tell you? Like, yes, I know Brian Flores is suing the Giants. I understand that. I'm not. It's a long shot, but that's still my dream scenario is getting Brian Flores here. But it is what it is. So the Slayton contract is a 3-year deal, 3 year, $36 million. Appreciate you guys for that. Trade Hyatt back to to UT, to Tennessee for some NIL money. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. JDJ says take advantage that you found a solid right tackle and lock him up. Doesn't it just make sense to do that? Right? Doesn't it just seem like a no-brainer? I think signing a Luminor is way more important than signing Wan'Dale Robinson for sure. Jermaine, no question in my mind that Jermaine Illuminor is more important than signing Wan'Dale Robinson. You guys like Jackson Dart. Everybody like Jackson Dart. If you had to pick between Illuminor and Wan'Dale Robinson, which way are you going? I'm taking Illuminor. When's the last time the New York Giants had a solid offensive line, which we do right now? And Illuminor is a big part of that. Now, we do have to make some changes. We're definitely going to need a right guard because Van Roten most likely is gone. I still don't like Runyon a lot, but he's been doing a good job next to Andrew Thomas. But we got to keep this line intact as much as possible. And we don't have any depth, too, thanks to Joe Schoen. So it is what it is with that. Is it that IP 6961 or is it Daddy P? Let me know for sure. I want to make sure that I pronounce people's names correctly. I'm assuming it's either that IP 6961 or Daddy P 6961. I just want to win. That's a fact. At the end of the day, after all this losing, I just want to win too. I just want to win too. Shout out to King D in the building. What's going on? Is Wan'Dale trade value can't get no higher? Trade him now. You can't. You can't trade him now. You're either going to extend him or let him walk. There's no trading him now. He'll be a free agent as soon as the season is over. That ship has sailed for Wan'Dale. There's no trading him. No trading him. Stacy says he should have been signed before Slayton. Talking about Wan'Dale. You know these guys are more reactive than proactive anyway. So they were just trying to, do what was right in front of them. They only do what's right in front of them. Joe Schoen only does what's right in front of them. That's it. Oh, this happened? Let me do this. Oh, he's a free agent? Let me do this. He's not looking 2-3 years ahead like a lot of other people are. Like right now, who's the hot names? Well, right now you're looking at guys like John Michael Schmitz, Jalen Hyatt, those guys that are going to be up for next year. You should have already found their replacements in the building. You should have already had them already. You should have already had the replacement. That's what good GMs do. Like, we don't have a replacement for McFadden. We don't have a replacement. We do have a replacement for Daniel Bellinger, but we don't know what he looks like because he hasn't played. You know what I mean? We don't have that. And that's a big F, for the GM. Mark T says, have a great night, Dash, and all have to get up early in the morning. Until next time, salute to you, Mark Thompson. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Have a good night of sleep. And yeah, be prosperous. Shout out to you and good night to you. Greg T says, sign unless we draft a tackle with our first pick or draft a tackle with our first pick. I don't think we go tackle in the first round. I mean, I don't like the tackles that much in this draft. I don't, especially at the top of the draft. There's a lot of tackles that you can get in the third or fourth round. We don't have a third round pick, but there's some people that can possibly fall that'll be good value, especially with what you're giving up in the first round. Because if that's the case, I might as well just move Marcus Bowe to right tackle if we lose Illuminor, and then try to find the backup or another swing tackle that's going to be behind Marcus Bowe. Yeah. That IP says, just get this thing back on track with the GM. Hold on. We're trying to go. I think we got it there. I think we're good now. He says, just get this thing back on track with the GM and coach. Please, we got the QB wide receiver one. Now fill in the blanks. We could do something like that. We got it. Yeah. We don't have enough draft picks, though, to fill in all the blanks, though. We got a lot of blanks to fill. You know what I mean? A lot. Wagner Charles says, pay Jermaine If it's a choice between him and Wan'Dale, I'd pick Jermaine. Cool. I mean, that's my only decision is picking Jermaine over Wan'Dale 100%. Kalen says, Dash, the Giants are building a team to be dominant for years. Keep Illuminor, start Bo somewhere, and focus on having a specialized running game. The one thing about Marcus Bo, I want him to start too. I think he's one of the top 5 linemen on the team. It's just about where he fits in. That's my main thing. I right now, I'm not too pressed on pushing Runyon out the door, even though you could save some money with Runyon. But again, you got these guys that have been playing together, and we're seeing the continuity finally. So I really don't want to miss too many people. Some people will say, just put Marcus Bo at right guard. So do you have JMS, 2 guards of Runyon and Bo, and then you got Illuminor and Andrew Thomas, and I'm with that. I'm absolutely with that, but I don't know how Marcus Bo would look at guard right now. We've seen him play left tackle. We've seen him play right tackle, but we have not seen him play guard in the regular season yet. So I'm curious to see how he looks in the inside. You usually want your bigger, stronger guys in the interior. I don't know how strong he is, and plus he has great feet. You do like to have athletic feet for a guard so you can pull him, but I just like what Marcus Bo can do on the outside more than I like him as a guard, interior guy. You talking about everything. That IP says, please get the special teams together. We need a little bit of everything. We need a little bit of everything, and every special team specialist that we pick up in free agency ends up getting hurt. Whether it's Swayze Bozeman, whether it's Chris Board, all these guys that we pick up that are special team specialists, they end up getting hurt, and we end up losing them, or we need them to play middle linebacker because somebody else goes there. We need to revamp this whole thing for sure. For sure. Some people still talking about the cheerleaders. They said cheerleaders. What are they going to cheer for? That's a fact. They probably get stuff thrown at them, man. Trying to cheer up this Giants, trying to cheer up the Giants fans at the stadium when we losing. They might get booed too. Most likely they get booed too. For sure. Sign and trade. Shane playing checkers now. He playing Connect 4. He ain't even playing checkers. It's Connect 4. Shout out to my man Jarius in the building. Chris D says pay Robinson and destroy the team. So that's what Shane will do. $21 million a year. It ain't 21. It ain't 21 million. It's 13 million for Wan'Dale. 13 million. 21 million. Yeah, I feel the same way you feel if it was 21 million. Again, I think the 13 million is a good price for Wan'Dale. I just don't know if it works for the Giants, and that's a damn shame. Because as many people tell me, well, bro, look what Joe Shane has done for the cap. He had cap hell. Well, we're still in cap hell. We got all these top heavy contracts and don't got the results on the field. It is what it is. Shout out to Demario says, go Giants. Ryan says, I said it on my recent vid. If Shane stays, Wan'Dale will be back. But if he's gone, I could say the new GM look at Wan'Dale and see him as replaceable. Now, I say this respectfully too. Wan'Dale is absolutely replaceable. Absolutely replaceable. Like the skill set, the production is absolutely replaceable. He's not Amon-Ra. He's not one of those guys. He's good. I can even say he's very good. He's good. Respectfully. But he's not irreplaceable. Not at all. And you can find a taller, stronger, faster Wan'Dale Robinson in this draft for sure, depending on what you want to spend your picks on, though. Because there's a lot of them. Again, where Wan'Dale is limited, down the field, 50-50 balls, it's not happening for him. He's a yak guy. We saw him get more targets down the field. Now, when he can get open, he can get separation. But anything that's contested, can you really trust and rely on him? I don't think so. But if you want to do everything underneath, yeah, he might be your guy. Q Burrow Diplomat says, pay flat and keep pushing. Draft wide receiver, put Neighbors in slot. Embo, the new right tackle. So you don't want to pay anybody but flat. Is what you're saying? Let me know for sure. Q Burrow, let me know for sure what you mean by that. Says, pay flat, keep it pushing. Draft the wide receiver, put Neighbors in the slot. Embo. So when you say Embo at right tackle, that means you don't want to pay Illuminor at the $18 to $20 million range. Draft a wide receiver, which everybody agrees that's what we should be doing, is drafting a wide receiver to team up with Darius. I'm sorry, to team up with Malik Neighbors. Pay Flott. Now, I have not looked up what the Flott numbers might be because for me, Flott is third on the list for me right now. It's Illuminor, it's Wandell, then it's Flott for me. But if Flott's price is better than Wandell's price, then I might go with Flott. It just depends on if we create more cap space by terminating some players or trading some players. It just depends. It's way too early. Like we can speculate, we can come up with certain plans, but it's still way too early to say anything for certain. But we are Giants fanatics, so what do? We talk about the scenarios right now while the season is still going. Why? Because our season is ultimately over. Ryan says definitely you can find a Wandell in the second or third round pick easily, but I do want him back if possible. Illuminor definitely the biggest priority though. Yeah, I think so. I really do. I really do. Q Burrow says only if Illuminor takes I don't think Illuminor's taking a discount. I think he made it clear. He made a couple different comments the past 2 weeks. This week it was I'm a top right tackle, whatever they make that, that's his range. And then last week, or maybe it might have been a week before that, it was a week before the bye, yeah. He was saying that they're gonna get it was after the bye. He said that the fans are gonna get everything he has for the last 4 games, for these last 4 games. And you could take it as his last as he's done being a Giant if he can't get his money, or he just really means the end of this season. So we'll see what happens. I think he would like to come back or return as a Giants. I think he sees that this line has progressed. Hopefully we can keep Brusilo. That's another thing. Priority, sign Illuminor, and whoever the new head coach is, hopefully keep Carmen Brusilo. Hopefully keep Carmen Brusilo for sure. Chris D says, pay that man. Yeah. What, why, when? R71 says, draft Mendoza and trade Dart. Oh, you starting trouble now. You starting trouble. What, why, when? It's starting trouble. We're going to get back to that. I'm not ready to have that discussion yet. I saw, Ryan Dunleavy put out an article or put out a tweet, and he said something of the same, like, you get Mendoza and trade Dart. I think you'd be crazy to do something like that. We kind of have an idea of what Dart is, and it looks pretty good. We don't have a clue what Mendoza is going to be against NFL talent. We do have a college playoff coming up. Shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers and that football team doing big things. Shout out to Kurt Signetti, a fantastic coach as well. But trading Dart would be wild. Q Burrow says Dart is a golden child. You crazy? Yeah. We gonna leave that alone. We gonna leave that one alone right now. Maybe if we got some time at the end of the show, we'll get back to that. Next topic: shutting down players. Again, 4 games left. 4 games left, and for me, I'm shutting down some players. And it's due to injury for the most part. Anybody that's healthy, I'm really not shutting them down. But Dexter Lawrence, I'm shutting Dexter Lawrence down the last 4 games. This whole season, Dexter Lawrence hasn't looked like Dexter Lawrence. He finally admitted that his elbow was still bothering him. We saw it. He gained a bunch of weight. He does not look like Dexter Lawrence. I don't want to see him hurt himself anymore, or any more severely than what it is right now. He opted out to not get surgery last year, let it heal naturally, and we saw it didn't work. I'm shutting Dexter Lawrence down. I am shutting Dexter Lawrence down. Let me know what you guys think about that. Would you shut down Dexter Lawrence and let him rest the 4 games, get him a head start into the offseason, and possibly heal him? Let me know on that. Q Burrow says Dex is trade bait. As much as I want to say, hell no, it's possible. After seeing Dex play the way that he played this year, I can see people saying, and it's possible. It's possible. I still didn't want to do it. I don't want to trade Dexter Lawrence. I really don't. I think he's part of the foundation for the New York Giants. He does have some losing residue on him. Hopefully we can wash that off him. Just with his attitude in certain cases and stuff like that. But I'm keeping Dexter Lawrence for a little bit longer. Now, let's see, facts. Yeah, people agreeing. Yep, Dex need to be gone. Y'all want to just get rid of Dex, huh? Shut him. I'm talking about shutting him down for the season. Y'all talking about getting him out of here. Now, you could get some draft capital for Dex. And we see it. It's understandable. He would have a large trade market. You could get a lot for Dexter Lawrence. But if that's the case, who are you building this defense around? Is it going to be Brian? You have to build a defense around Brian Burns if you lose Dex. And then what do you do as soon as you trade Dex? Try to find another Dex. Maybe a cheaper version, but that's what as soon as you trade Dex, what are you doing? You're trying to find another Dex. It was almost like I bet the Cowboys wish they had another edge rusher right now. They traded theirs, and they are still trying to replace them. They did a good job with was it Quinnen Williams, and then who's the guy they picked up? The linebacker that they picked up from Cincinnati. They made some fantastic moves during the trade deadline, to the point where if they happen to sneak into the playoffs, Dallas is going to be dangerous. And I hate to say that, but it's just true right now. It's just true. But getting rid of Dex, come on now. JDJ says we got to shut down Shane too. Let Brown take a few GM snaps. That's hilarious. I just need Shane gone, man. Whatever it takes to get him out of here, it's fine with me. It's absolutely fine with me. So outside of Dex, we also talk about Kayvon Thibodeaux with his shoulder. He's banged up. Tyrone Tracy is banged up. I would probably shut Tibbs down too. I'll probably shut Tibbs down. The bad thing about it is, actually, it's not a bad thing. I'm just giving those reps to Abdul Carter. We've been dealing with the rotation. We've seen Abdul Carter, be the king of the almost for forever right now in the season. Tibbs is not 100%. Go ahead and shut Tibbs down too. You shut him down, maybe it kind of cools down the whole, I would rather have a new contract than play on the 5th-year option. Maybe that shuts that down a little bit. You get to save a little bit of money. Maybe you do that, and then you get to see what Abdul Carter can do the last 4 games, and hopefully he made it to all the meetings this week. Hopefully he's coming off a bye week. Hopefully he got all the rest that he needed. Hopefully he got all the rehab that he needed, and he was at practice, ready to go, in the meetings, ready to go. But I need to see more from Abdul Carter these last 4 games, just like I need to see more from Dart. So Dex, I will sit down. Tibbs, I will sit down. Tyrone Tracy is a toss-up. If he's not good to go, I will sit him down too. Also, Paulson Adebo doesn't look quite right. I might shut him down too, and let Tay Banks ride out into the sunlight these last couple of games. Flott and Tay Banks on the outside. Go ahead and shut Adebo down. Bookend Tackle says trade Dex. Nah, I hear you, man. That's tough. That is absolutely tough. Shout out to Ford Expedition with the $5 super chat. Shut everybody down except Dart and the offensive line. Don't forget to shut down Joe Shane. Another person saying shut down Joe. Joe Shame. Low down, dirty Shame. That's a fact. Side Guy Bra says beware of Mariota. Mariota got a chance to beat us for sure. Just got to get after him. It depends on too what the Commanders are fighting for. They're eliminated just like we're eliminated. It's pretty much just bragging rights of who can beat who. I think the game might be more competitive than people might think. I really do think that the Giants got a chance of winning this game, as much as so many people don't want to win at all. I think the Giants have a good chance. We got the legacy jerseys on again. We're playing at home against the Commanders. I can see us winning this game. I can absolutely see us winning this game. I can see us winning this game more than that Vikings game, and the Vikings look like trash. Jarius says, get a dog at DC, keep Dex, and get 2 good corners. Replace Okereke because he's too slow. Possibly. Q Burrow says, just say you want to tank, Dash. I don't want to tank. I just don't want Dexter Lawrence to end up, injured again. He's already hurt. We've been playing with a limited Dexter Lawrence anyway. We just picked up who we pick up on for the practice squad. We brought back Casey Rogers. So the writing is on the wall for me. So you just go out there with Darius Alexander. We need to see more of him. Roy Robinson Harris, Nacho. Maybe we see Elijah Chapman. Shut Dex down. Shut Dex down. The reason why I say I don't want to tank because there's nothing to tank for. We already got a quarterback. I don't want to tank. I just don't want to see guys get hurt more than, especially when we're going to need them. You figured Dexter Lawrence hurt his elbow last year around this time, and he wasn't right, and it's been a whole year. It's been a whole year with Dex, and he's still not right. Shut him down. Get the surgery. Shut him down. Ryan, Big Blue Podcast says, Dash, how do you feel about Mike McCarthy? Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because I saw your feelings about Mike McCarthy, Ryan. I saw you call him the Tom Thibodeau. He could be like the Tom Thibodeau or like what Tom Thibodeau was for the Knicks. I don't like Mike McCarthy. Ryan, I really do not like Mike McCarthy because to your point, I see what the positive is. Oh, he's Tom Thibodeau. For me, I see him. If you're going to call him Tom Thibodeau, well, that means Mike McCarthy has an expiration date. And then in 3 years, you'll be looking for another head coach. So for me, that's why I don't like Mike McCarthy. I feel like you get Mike McCarthy and you're already thinking about who's going to be the coach after Mike McCarthy. That's my main reason why I don't want Mike McCarthy. I understand the good. He's a winning coach. Dallas had 3 straight 12-win seasons, but that's also the Dallas Cowboys with a loaded roster. I also know that this man had Aaron Rodgers for a decade in a weak NFC. Yes, he has one Super Bowl, but everything after that, we beat him twice on our Super Bowl runs, Mike McCarthy. So, I mean, it is what it is. But for me, I don't like Mike McCarthy for that specific reason that I know if we sign Mike McCarthy in about 3 years, we're going to be looking for a replacement for Mike McCarthy. And I'd rather get somebody else right now. That's my honest opinion right there. Brandon says Adebo's knee is adobo. That's crazy. It's adobo. Luann says, I want all to play. I want to win. Everybody wants to win. I think everybody does want to win. I just don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can do it. Like, we know we can score. We can put up points. But when we put up points, what happens? The defense allows more points. Like, I don't know what to say. Besides, it's just been an awful season as a fan to watch this thing unfold the way that it has. At least we knew early, too, though. Like, at least the hope died before Thanksgiving. Like, the hope died in late, like, you can say that the hope died in October before Halloween. So we had time to prepare ourselves for this, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Joe's ass is crazy. Yep. What When Why says, Dash really don't want these culture wins, bro. For the last 4 games, that number 1 pick will be so valuable. Teams will be fighting for Mendoza. Last year, I felt like the games were like you didn't. Last year, I felt like you didn't need the wins. Now with the franchise quarterback, you have a franchise quarterback. You had a good offensive line. What we don't have is a team that knows how to win. Now, I know we're going to have a new coach. I know we might have a new GM. But a lot of these players are going to be back. The guys that are not on contract years, a lot of these guys are coming back. Just think about Jackson Dart, this offensive line and stuff like that. These guys are coming back. They need to know how to win. And we got some teams that we can punch on, actually, if I'm going to be honest. We can punch on these. We can punch on the Commanders. We can punch on the Vikings, the Raiders. We can punch on these teams. We need to know how to win. And these guys deserve to win. Like, now, the flip side of that is absolutely the most valuable thing to do for the long haul. I mean, for the long term, is to lose and get the number 1 pick and trade back for a boatload of picks. Now, let me ask you this though: what, when, what, why, and when? If we keep Joe Shane, he's the one that's going to be making all those picks, and we see how he picks. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying. But these guys really do need to know how to win or learn how to win for sure. They need to learn how to win because all they've seen right now is the offense try their best just to be let down outside of the Saints game. Luann says top linebacker coming out of the draft for me is Sonny Styles. A lot of people say Arvell Reese. For me, I like Sonny Styles more than Arvell Reese. The kid from Texas Tech, I saw somebody mention him earlier, Jacob Rodriguez. He's getting MVP nods, right? I'm sorry, not MVP nods, Heisman nods. It's not going to happen. Him winning the Heisman is not going to happen, respectfully. But also, I think he's solid all around. He just doesn't pop as far as speed and things like that. So he's probably going to go late day 2, early day 3, in my opinion, Jacob Rodriguez. So he'll still be in a range where the Giants can get him. So it just depends on what we do. But top linebacker for me is Sonny Styles, Ohio State. I think he's better than Arvell Reese. Absolutely think he's better than Arvell Reese. I thought he was better than Arvell. I started to think he was better than Arvell Reese a couple of weeks ago, and then this game against the Indiana Hoosiers this past week, the Big Ten championship, just solidified that Sonny Styles, in my opinion, is better than Arvell Reese. The consensus is Arvell Reese. Everybody will tell you Arvell Reese is a top guy. He's a tweener right now. They're trying to make him an edge rusher mixed with off-ball linebacker. I think they might ruin the kid if they do something like that. But Sonny Styles, to me, hands down, top linebacker in the draft for me. But he won't go first. Arvell Reese would definitely go before him. Greg T says tank so we can at least win something. Jarius says, can we see tight end Fidone? No, because we put him on IR. He might be back for the last game. That's not enough. We did a disservice for him. There's no reason why we couldn't get him on the field. All this 12 personnel, sometimes 13 personnel, and we couldn't get that kid on the field. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that we didn't get a look at Thomas Fidone this year. It makes me kind of mad that we didn't get a chance to get a good look at Thomas Fidone, because if we do lose Daniel Bellinger, we're going to need Thomas Fidone to step up and be the tight end 2 next year. And we don't know what he looks like. And that pisses me off. How do you not get on the field? Well, he had a couple of snaps, but he wasn't targeted. We saw him in the preseason. But it is what it is. Not seeing Thomas Fidone is something that does piss me off, for real. New York State of Mind says, I'm with you, Dash. No McCarthy. What's going on, Menace? How you doing? Richard Murphy says, Midlife Crisis live at the Rock House next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Is that the name of your band? And where's the Rock House? If that is the name of your band, let me know. We support everybody. As long as it's the right type of, as long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, you get some support. I'm gonna have to Google you now. Jerry732 says we should start Russell. Come on, man. Come on, man. I understand people want to lose, but come on, man. Tanking for the number 1 pick is not more important than Dart still learning. It's not. He gets to play against a Brian Flores defense. That's valuable. Commanders, it is what it is. The Dallas Cowboys are a lot better. I need to see him play against the Commanders because he's never played against the Commanders and he's never played against the Dallas Cowboys. I need to see Jackson Dart versus the Cowboys, and I need to see him versus the Commanders. And I want to see him against that Brian Flores defense. I'm not sitting Jackson Dart unless he got issues with the concussion. I'm not sitting him. Valuable snaps. You talk about he could possibly add another 800 yards to his total. And I'm not just talking about padding stats. It's still snaps that he needs in order to develop. We already know that he's going to be the starter. We understand that. He needs to play. Was it Kalen Water says keeping a backup like Winston is important. We know Dart will rarely play a full season. Now that's very important too. Another thing that I would do is I would find the backup, the replacement backup for Winston, possibly in this draft. Maybe a UDFA, maybe one of those 6-round picks. If you can get somebody like Jalon Daniels back there, if you can get Trinidad Chambers from Ole Miss, which I think he'll go a lot higher than where PFF has him right now. But Trinidad Chambers, if he can't get an additional year of eligibility, I think he's working on that right now. I'll be surprised if he doesn't follow Lane Kiffin to LSU. I think that's something that will happen at the end of the season if he can get another year eligibility. But Trinidad Chambers would be the perfect backup to Jackson Dart, in my opinion, as far as their play styles and things that they do, especially in that Ole Miss system. Chambers is nice. Greg T says Styles is a tweener as well, but he is a ball hawk. Styles is not a tweener. He does have a safety background, so I understand what you're talking about with that. Styles is 6 foot. They got him listed at 6'4", 240, and we know how colleges lie. So if he's 6'4", 240 on the roster or on the website for Ohio State, that means he's probably about 6'3", maybe about 230. That is not a tweener for a linebacker. That is great size for a linebacker, and I actually like his safety background. He's brought that safety background to the second level, and he is fantastic. He can do it all. Where Arvell Reese can't do, Sonny Styles can do at a high level. Melvin says, I'm down with Chris Shula. I am too. Greg T says, I'm not setting foot in nowhere named the Rock House. I feel you on that. Menace King says, Dash, I'm going to tell you what's scaring me, knowing the Giants organization, if we win like 3 or 4 of the last 4 games, I feel like they will keep going to keep Shane. It's possible. It's possible. And when you put it like that, we might need to lose all these games, though. We might need to lose all these games if that means Shane keeps his job. That's why I wanted him going already. I was happy when we got rid of Dable because it left no chance for us to go on a little bit of a winning streak and to keep him. Same thing with Shane Bowen. But I don't know how he does it. But Joe Shane is hanging on for dear life right now. He was the most nervous I ever seen him in that presser, in the bye week presser. That means he's scared to death right now. So I'm curious to see what happens with that. But yeah. Here's the thing too. If the Giants know anything, these last 4 games shouldn't even matter in their decision making for Joe Shane. He's done so much messing up the 4 years that he's been here that if these 4 games matter that much to their decision making, then we're screwed anyway. And we might just be screwed anyway. Ownership from the top down. It's crazy. Shout out to John Mara. He's fighting a good fight right now. Prayers up for him. But I'm just talking about the business side of football, man. It's been horrible. Dope Dead. Shout out to my man Dope Dead. Said McCarthy is what we need. The Cowboys are using McCarthy's staff and are rolling. You don't want him because of Rodgers. Rodgers is a knucklehead. I don't like McCarthy, man. Just because he hired Schottenheimer and Schottenheimer took over, you telling me he got another Schottenheimer in the stash? Are we going to be as lucky as the Cowboys that we hire McCarthy and he's just going to find some magical OC to take over for him? Plus, we really don't know what Schottenheimer is either yet. I don't know. So I'm not taking that chance, man. What McCarthy did with Dallas does not mean that he's going to be able to do the same thing with the New York Giants. I'm sorry. I can't trust that. Just like I can't trust John Mara and his organization to pick the right people. They should hire an independent firm to come in here and do their, vetting of the next GM. I don't trust McCarthy. I don't. You might, and shout out to you if you do. But again, you're going to, and look what you said, though. Look what you said. You said McCarthy is what we need. The Cowboys are using McCarthy's staff. They're using his staff, but they're not using him. which means they got rid of him. And what did I say? When you get McCarthy, you're already looking at who's going to be his replacement, and that's why I don't want him. Miss Aveline, how you doing? Said hi, Dash. What's going on, Miss Aveline? Maurice, what's going on, Maurice? He said, where do you think Sonny Styles will go in the draft? He's probably going in the teens. Anywhere from like 12 to 16 is probably where Sonny Styles is going. Especially if he blows up the combine like I think he is. He gets to the combine, he runs that 4.4 at 6'3", 230 pounds. Yeah. 12 to 15 range. I don't think he cracks the top 10, especially with the quarterbacks getting pushed down, the wide receivers getting pushed down. I don't think that happens. Some people are looking at these offensive linemen like they're pretty good. Some of the edge rushers might get pushed down because of the quarterbacks. Yeah, that he's I think he's going in the teens. I think he goes in the teens. I'll even say 11 to like 11 to 17 range is where I think Sonny Styles can go. I really like what Sonny Styles can do. And again, I really believe he's better than Arvell Reese. Quake Up says, Dash, I heard the Giants already have the number 1 pick. They could win out and it wouldn't. Nope. That's not true. Right now, we do hold the number 1 pick, but a lot of these teams are tied. And depending on, like, you figure we play the Raiders, they're right behind us, right? And then we don't know what the Commanders only got 1 more win than us. So if we start winning games, we're not going to have that number 1 pick. It's what we have right now. I believe they said that we only have like a 10% chance of keeping it. There's other teams that got a percentage range in like the 30s. You know, I think the highest is like 34 or 36% chance of getting the number 1 pick. And I think that might have been the Titans still. Oh, who's third? It's not the Browns. I think the Jets even have a higher chance of getting it than the Giants. So we would have to lose just to guarantee it. Just to guarantee keeping the number, we would have to lose. And then also strength of schedule will come into play. Because right now it's the only teams that have 2 wins are us and the Titans. Everybody else has 3 wins. So if we run off two more wins, we might go from 1 to what? 8, 9 possibly? With everybody else looking in that range too. So yeah, I think we still get a boatload of picks anyway. You know what's funny? I got more deals in the mock draft simulator when we were picking at 2 than I do at 1. Because a lot of people know the Giants are not taking a quarterback. So unless the Giants trade, give up that pick early in the draft, people are just going to let the Giants pick. They might take the chance and see who's picking at number 2 and try to get either there or possibly the 3rd spot. Because if Dante Moore comes out from Oregon, you got him and you got Mendoza, probably the top 2 quarterbacks in the league, in the draft. Everybody knows the Giants are not taking a quarterback. If we end up stuck with the number 1 pick, we stuck picking. And who are we going to take then? Caleb Downs? Ruben Bain? Maybe? I don't know. It's going to be exciting, though. It's going to be very exciting, though. Menace King says, in response to what you said, that would assume ownership is competent. Hopefully, they make the right decision. They need to hire an independent firm to come in here and clean things up. Just like the NFL did back in the day, they put George Young here. George Young was here for what, almost 30 years. How long was he here for? A little over 79 or what? When did George Young leave? George Young left. He was here in 79 to 97. So 20 years, just under 20 years. And they placed him here to handle business. So it is what it is. Chris says McCarthy got that stink on him. That's yeah. Giants got that stink on him, man. It's a different kind of stink too, man. It's bad. It is very bad. Is it Elijah with a Y? That's dope. He says, I don't want Reese in the draft. Wide receiver don't need him. Hold on. Where'd it go? I don't want Reese in the draft. Wide receiver don't need him. Plus, I don't think he's all that. Talking about Arvell Reese. You want a wide receiver, you don't want Arvell Reese. I think Arvell Reese is good. I think his measurables and his talent is good. Um, he's a true tweener though. We don't know if he's going to be on the edge or if he's going to be off ball. I would play him off ball because that's what he's been doing, except for this year. This year they pretty much split his reps between off ball and in the edge, and I believe he only got like 3 sacks on the season. So like it's like 50-50, this the snap split between off ball and edge for him. You look at Sonny Styles' numbers, it's just off the charts for me. D Brown came in and said, pay Jermaine out of the blue. Just pay Jermaine. I think that's something that happens. So, all right, man, I got the Commander game as a topic here. I'll talk about it really quickly. Jaden Daniels is not playing. We are going to be playing against Mariota. They're down a tight end. Everybody saw that horrific injury for Zach Ertz. Praying for him, thoughts and prayers to him. Crazy injury. If you saw on Hard Knocks, he was actually mic'd up when that injury happened. He was mic'd up for that game. It's just a terrible situation. HBO did a good job, a respectful job, handling that whole deal. They had some nice build up, practice throughout the week and what they did for Zach Ertz through the week, and then we saw obviously the injury unfold, and it's just a sad situation. But yeah, so they're down. They're down Jaden Daniels. They're down Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz is a Giants killer for sure. We got issues with Zach Ertz. We can't cover him to save our lives. Giants can't cover tight ends to save their life. We haven't been able to cover tight ends. As long as I've been a Giants fan, I don't think we've been able to cover tight ends. I hated Witten from the Dallas Cowboys. I really did, because he was super slow, but he was always open, and I never understood it. I hate Witten, but it is what it is. Shout out to Is This Mic On? Hold on, where to go? Put it up there. Is This Mic On Sports? Said Dash, what's going on? How we doing tonight, man? I'm chilling. Sean Jackson says, Dash, who are your first 2 choices for the Giants' next head coach in your dream scenario? Who's a more valued New York Giants free agent going forward? Jermaine, Wan'Dale, Flott, McFadden. I value Illuminor over Wan'Dale. Sean talked about it in the beginning of this show or the stream. For me, top priority is Jermaine, Wan'Dale, Flott, in that order, same as you. Then McFadden, of course. I think McFadden is going to be dirt cheap now because he's coming off of the injury. And if we're interested, we probably get that deal done for cheap. As far as the first 2 choices for head coach, my dream scenario still is Brian Flores. I don't think that's going to happen. So Chris Shula is my number 1 right now. I have a dark horse after that, and that's Aubrey Pleasant, who's the assistant head coach for the St. Louis Rams. But St. Louis Rams. Good Lord, for the LA Rams. But I believe if Chris Shula does leave for a head coaching job, I think Aubrey Pleasant becomes the defensive coordinator for the Rams, because I think he's next in line for that. But he would be on my list too. So right now is Brian Flores and Chris Shula are my top 2 names. Not saying that's everybody. I am going to do a coaching show video right after the season. Not too late after the season, because I expect the Giants to make some type of announcement after the season. Pretty, depending on if that coach is still coaching in the playoffs. I expect that decision to come through pretty quickly. But yeah, that's my choice for head coach, and then of course the Luminor is number 1 free agent priority for me. Elijah says, I actually want Rubin or Downs. I'd take a wide receiver as well, or O-line cornerback. We need all these real bad. When it comes to the cornerbacks in the first round, I like McCoy. Then you got Colton Hood. Those are the top 2 cornerbacks right now. Both played at Tennessee. McCoy didn't play this season, out with an injury. That's the part that scares me. There's guys that I like. What's his name? Chris Williams for San Diego State? Chris Johnson for San Diego State. He's a corner that's a sleeper that should make a lot of noise once the Senior Bowl and the combine and stuff happen. You probably hear more about Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. I like what's his name? Malik from the Longhorns from Texas. He's another one. They got a kid from Illinois that's nice too. I think we can wait. I think we can wait to draft a cornerback. I don't think we go round 1 for a cornerback. I do like Caleb Downs too. And I tried not to like Caleb Downs as much just because of some of the names and the players that they were comparing him to. I had people call him Ed Reed. I'm like, ain't no way anybody's Ed Reed. Ed Reed is like the best safety that I ever seen. Like you could say Polamalu, I like Polamalu too, but Ed Reed was just special. And somebody said that Caleb Downs was like Ed Reed, and I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I refused to see it, and then I finally like gave up. I'm still not calling him Ed Reed, but Caleb Downs is nice. But the safety position, how valued is the safety position? It's important for sure once you have them. Caleb Downs is nice, like super nice. Like all that stuff that we see, Newbin taking bad angles, missing tackles, and Javon Holland not taking advantage of his opportunities. Caleb Downs shuts all that stuff down, no matter where you place him. In the box, deep, it doesn't matter. Single high, Caleb Downs can do it all. Point blank, period. Elijah says trade down to get a haul. That's the plan, man. That's the plan. If we're picking in the top 3, I think we can trade down, regardless. I think we can get a haul. If we're top, obviously number 1 overall is perfect. Number 2 would be perfect too. But 3 and 4, I think you still can get a haul. Once you fall out of the top 4, yeah, you're not seeing too much after that. You might get a nice package, but it's not going to be a haul if we drop out of the top 4. Top 5 too. It's that top 3. That's the range you need to be in order to get that haul. Ryan Big Blue Podcast says you might be at the Senior Bowl, right? That would be. I'm hoping so, man. I'm hoping so, man. We'll see what happens. If I can get my credentials, we'll see what happens. I submitted for it. We'll see what happens. And I didn't want to go there as just a fan. I wanted access to the players, so that's what I want to get. So if I don't get that, I probably won't go. We'll see what happens though. Elijah says, I want Carnell Tate. I'm not sold on Jordan Tyson, or I'll take Caleb Downs. I'm sorry, Dash. Nah, Caleb Downs is nice. He's nice. I wouldn't be mad at taking him either. I'm just saying, Malik Muhammad, thank you very much. Malik Muhammad from Texas, from the Longhorns. That's his name. Thank you. And I talked about Jordan Tyson a little bit. The one thing that scares me about Jordan Tyson, and again, nobody's even talking about it, is his injury history. He is banged up all the time. And he did have the ACL, I think it was 2 years ago. But since he's been at Arizona State, because he was at Colorado, then he went to Arizona State. For the 2 seasons he was at, is it 2 or 3 seasons? This might be his 3rd season. I think it might be his 3rd season at ASU. He's been getting hurt, banged up. Shoulder, calf, hamstring. Those things linger. And we already got Malik Neighbors that refused to get the toe surgery. He got the ACL surgery, but he refused to get the toe surgery. And we don't know if that's something that's going to follow him still. I think he should have got them both done. We'll see what happens though. Because that turf toe just ain't going, it's just not going to heal. That's what you've been trying. He's been trying to get that turf toe to heal since he was at LSU. And it's not healing that way. You're going to have to get that surgery done, brother. Please. Shout out to my man Hooks Rub is in the building. He says, what up, Dash and chat? Hope y'all are doing great. Shout out to my man Hooks Rubs and Spices. If you're not familiar with my man Hooks, go ahead and check out his page. I know you got it on Instagram. I don't know if you don't got a YouTube page, right? At least I don't think you advertise on YouTube. But my man Hooks got the spices, man, the rubs. So for all these guys that claim to be pit masters, barbecue masters and stuff like that, man, make sure you go holler at my man Hooks. Get yourself some rubs. Pause. You know what I'm talking about. Seasoning. Cliffside said, did he recap the Art Stapleton situation? I did not talk about Art Stapleton situation. I wasn't going to talk about the Art Stapleton thing, even though I commented on it on Twitter. So for those that don't know, I still don't have the full details on it. So I'm going to put that out as a disclaimer. Supposedly, there were some things said from Art Stapleton about, people saying that, he had his cape on. He's always defending the Giants. He's a homer, stuff like that, right? I'm paraphrasing. And he didn't like it. He didn't like it. He started criticizing non-beat writers, I should say. So you got your content publishers, you got your people that have podcasts. He did not say names, at least as far as I know, he did not say names, but it was pretty clear what he was responding to because there was another video that was put out there and they were pretty much talking about the same situation. So yeah, Art Stapleton had an issue and he aired it out. I don't know if it's cleared out yet, but he did air it out as far as content creators not being official, not being, on the beat like these guys who have access in the building, access to players and stuff like that. I will say this though, keep it PC because I don't want to start no problems. A lot of the content creators, whether it's me, some of the bigger channels like Giants Nation, shout out to New York Revival, shout out to Giants Rush. These guys are able to get certain players on their podcast, but it has to be approved by, let's just say, Pat Hanlon. And I've been a part of situations where a player said, "Yeah, let's do it. Schedule. I'll be there. What time? Send me the link to the stream." And then the day before, cancel because the Giants blocked them from coming on that particular, content creators channel. So it's just an issue where you have your beat writers, and you have your content creators, pretty much having a little bit of a back and forth. And it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's see if we got some more drama. I'm still waiting on all the details though, so we'll see what happens. Eric McAllister at TCU. Yeah, I like McAllister too. I like McAllister too. Two Giant Google. Shout out to my man Drew. Is this Drew? It's most likely Drew. He said, "What up, everybody?" He says, "What else did you say, Drew?" He says, "Please tell me you have fun with that name and ass." Talking about hooks, rubs, and spices. Shout out to my man Hooks, man. Yeah, that's it. So Art is being an old school guy, not liking the new school. See, you did it better than I did it, Drew. That's yes. That's exactly what it is. And the funny thing about it is this, it's not even funny. Again, the beat writers, I respect what the beat writers do 100%. No buts to that at all. No buts to that at all. I appreciate what they do. A lot of the information that I get is from the beat writers and what they post and the articles that they put out. Obviously, I'm not in the building. You see, there is a but you see the beat writers start to dibble and dabble in the content creation. They got YouTube channels. They have live streams. They do this, that, and the third. So they're dabbling in our areas, but also they feel like they're beat writers. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't want to say nothing because I'm still trying to make connections myself. I don't want to burn any bridges. At least right now, I don't want to burn any bridges. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it cool for right now. Never know what you might need in the future, so I'm gonna keep it at that. But if I ever feel disrespected, it's gonna be at a different level because I'm still Jersey at the end of the day. Shout out to everybody. George Boney says, "My boy Big Dash, what's up? What's going on, George Boney? What's going on?" My man Drew says, "There are beat writers I'm cool with, and others are afraid of us because people come to us instead of them for information." Ding, ding, ding. Bingo. Yes. Yes. He said, "I will say burn, baby." Nah. It's definitely some beat writers that I'm cool with. I'm super cool with Pat Leonard. Shout out to Pat Leonard. Dan Duggan is cordial. We're cordial with Dan Duggan. Jordan Renan is cool too. But there's some people I can't get them to reply to anything. I'll leave those names out of it. And obviously, you heard the names that I mentioned and the names that I didn't mention. So it is what it is. I don't think I have issues with anybody. If they got issues with me, then I don't know it. I would love to know it. I like to know where I stand. Hook says, "Dash, do you think the fact we haven't seen anyone get extended means maybe Joe Schoen is not there after the end of the season to let a new GM go?" I believe that 100%. I believe that 100%. I think if Joe Schoen knew for a fact he was going to be back, Jermaine Illuminor will probably get signed over the bye week. I do believe that. We haven't even got, like, just think about all these years in the past, how many people or how many stories drop about the Giants offering contracts, extensions over the bye week, and we got crickets this past bye week. I believe that 100%, Hooks. I believe it 100%. Joe Schoen knows he's on thin ice, and they're not going to allow him to make any moves that will affect 2026 right now. Because, again, they don't even know if he's going to be there. I agree with you 100%. I absolutely believe that. Rev, what's going on, Rev? He says, God bless you, Big Dash, and everybody else. Man, God bless you, Rev. Shout out to you, man. You are a breath of fresh air every time. And I mean that sincerely, man. Hopefully everything is good with you. Hopefully everything is fine. And shout out to you, man. Thank you for the love and support as always. Sean Jackson says, Dash, if Tomlin, Harbaugh became available after the season, you would still have Shula as your number one? No, I wouldn't. If Mike Tomlin becomes available, which I don't think is going to happen, I went back and forth. I saw what they said about Mike Tomlin recently, saying, of course, they're not going to fire him this season. You know, after the 2026 season, they do have an option. But I'm telling you, if Mike Tomlin became available, it's a no-brainer for me. No-brainer for me. 100, I'm sold. Where do we sign him? 5 years, 6 years. Let's get it done. Some people might say, well, he never has any coordinators. Where is his? I don't get him in the building to straighten and getting all these guys in line. We can figure out the coordinator issue after that. Give me Tomlin. You got people sleeping in your meetings? Not with Mike Tomlin in the building. You got all these BS, penalties and all this other? Not with Mike Tomlin in the building, no. This losing culture gone as soon as that man steps in the building. There's a different level of respect that follows Mike Tomlin. Even though a lot of that fan base feels like they want to move on from Tomlin, it can be like Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles at the end of the day. I would welcome Mike Tomlin with open arms if that was to happen. Chris Shula, I'll be like Chris Shula who if Mike Tomlin becomes available. I'm just saying. Mike Tomlin is what? What is he? 50, 53? 54 max? Come on. What are we talking about? That man he's been the head coach in the NFL since he was 36 years old. He got the job at 36 for Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'll take it. Drew starting trouble, man. They hate us because they ain't us, man. Listen, you said it. I ain't say it, man. I feel that way, though. I feel that way. But like I said, they got certain perks that we don't have access to. They do have certain perks that I would like to have. I will say that. But again, it is what it is. I'm having a hard enough time getting my credentials for the Senior Bowl. If I can get to the Senior Bowl, my next step is trying to get to the Combine. I'm trying to be on the field. Obviously, the Combine is a way different level. But I got goals and aspirations, man. Shout out to my man Drew too, man, because he's doing big things over there too with the Two Giant Goofballs. If you are not subscribed to Two Giant Goofballs, first off, what are you doing? Cue to Shane from Game of Thrones. Shane, if you're not subscribed to my man Drew and the Two Giant Goofballs, make sure you go ahead and do that. Fantastic Giants content creator. Much love and support to those guys over there. Ruben DiCero? Is it Cero? He said, I want Belichick. Ruben. First of all, I'm going to say that I appreciate you, Ruben, for vibing with us, vibing with me on this special edition of Late Night Giants Talk, Wednesday edition. I got to ask you a question, Ruben. Why? Why do you want Belichick? There's no wrong answers. I just want to know why you want Belichick. After what we've seen from Belichick these past couple of years, in these recent times, recent seasons, between the Patriots and now with the Tar Heels, what makes you want Bill Belichick? Let me know, Ruben, please. That dark friend says, what? So I apologize. You are only the fourth most watched channel in 2025. I'll do better. Who are you talking about? Who's the Top 4 watch channel. I'm trying to find your other comment. Where's it at? Dark friend said, I'm very late. How's everything going? Fire Shane. I'm with that. I miss it. What we talking about? Who is the fourth overall most watched channel? No, you ain't talking about me because I'm not in the top 4. I know that for a fact. I check my stats. I'm trying to grow this channel even more. I love the growth and support right now for sure. Shout out to everybody. This channel was nothing without you guys for sure. I'd just be in here talking to myself. I would be talking because I'm crazy. I'm a Giants fanatic. I would be talking to myself, but shout out to you guys. Oh, I got you. You are 4th. You are 4th for me personally. You know what? Now I'm curious. Who's the other 3? Who's the other 3 now? Let's have some fun with this conversation. I want to know who's your top 3. It might be my same. It might be my same top guys too. I'm curious now. Thank you, BX. I was trying to catch on, man. I was trying to catch on to what he was saying. I'm caught up now. Ryan, Big Blue Podcast, almost 10K dash. You the best creator, man. Actually, we're on the first. We were one of the first people I tuned. Oh, you were one of the first people I tuned into. Made me want to start your podcast. Yeah. Shout out to you, man. And again, we talk personally too, outside of just YouTube. Shout out to my man Ryan. Again, you know what it is. Little bro. Anything you need from me, absolutely. You already know what it is. I'm assuming that's what he meant was giant. Unless he was talking overall. He's just talking overall. I appreciate it even more. Grassi football analysis. Listen, I appreciate the love and support, that dark friend. I appreciate the love and support. No, I really do. I appreciate that 100%. We got an answer from Ruben, people. Okay, he says, I have a different aspect to this. He can elevate this defense, and he can hold these young players accountable. 100%, I do agree with that. In my opinion, maybe the last couple of years with Belichick was just a way for him to leave. When he could have left. He could have left whenever he wanted to. He could have rolled off into the sunset whenever he wanted to. But I do agree with the whole point of being able to elevate the defense. Yes. That's one thing about Bill Belichick. His team, his roster was prepared. As far as holding players accountable, it's about how relevant you are when it comes to holding players accountable. Yes, I believe he held players accountable. Yes, I believe, people sat up in the room when he got there. Now, after this, I don't know what's going on in UNC. It might just be a lack of talent out there, but it is the ACC at the end of the day, and ACC is trash when it comes to football. I thought he was going to get to UNC and just float and not disrupt what's going on in the college playoffs, but I expected him to win more games than he did with UNC in that conference, and it's just been awful. Also, some of the other decisions that he's making as far as just personal life, not what his personal life is, but having his personal life included in the football day-to-day activities is something where I'm like, he can't get away with that in the NFL. So that's my deal. Like if it was 2005, 2015 even, and we're talking about Bill Belichick, sign me up. But 2025 version of Bill Belichick, and it would be 2026. I don't know, but listen, I respect your point of view, and I respect you actually, coming with some more details too. So shout out to you, Ruben. I'm not going to knock it at all. Dope Dad says, Big Dash, I got 99 problems, but Bill Belichick has one. Yeah, he does. He got one for sure. He definitely got one. Kalen Waters says, I'm sorry, what that was. Kalen Waters says, running back Kenneth Walker and punter is it Gillikin from the Cardinals in free agency. I thought Kenneth Walker played for Seattle, but the punter Gillikin is from Cardinals. Okay, so okay, I got you now. Because Kenneth Walker plays for the Seattle, for the Seahawks. I haven't looked at punters, to be honest. I know we need to get rid of our punter, but I haven't looked at his replacement because I don't believe that just like go get you a punter. Like this Gillian situation, he got a cool nickname, but we paid him money and then we paid him again. He's replaceable. Kenneth Walker, if we don't get somebody in the draft, we don't get another running back in the draft, I would think about signing Kenneth Walker. Just depends on how much he costs, because he's not going to be the feature back. As soon as Scatterable gets back, he's going to be the running back one. So how much money would you pay Kenneth Walker in free agency? I don't think he's going to break the bank at all. I'm just saying, what does that rotation look like? But I would definitely take him on the roster. Right now, we only got 2 running backs for real. What's going on? Eric Gray is still going to be under contract for another season. But Tyrone Tracy, Scatterboo, Eric Gray is what you're looking at. Why not add somebody like Kenneth Walker? He did lose his job in Seattle, though. He did. Simeon, what's going on? Simeon said, Big Dash, what up? What's going on, Simeon? Oof. John Gruden as OC. Wait a minute. I got to go back now. So Ruben came back. Ruben says the coaching staff I would like is Bill Belichick as head coach, John Gruden as OC, Spags as DC. If it was 2005, you knocking it out of the park. John Gruden, first of all, that's a lot of egos. Between Bill Belichick and John Gruden, that's a lot of egos. That's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. And then Spags as DC, I understand where you're going. On paper, that looks fantastic. But how long does that staff last? Bill Belichick already got one foot out the door. Spags is probably waiting for Andy Reid to leave so he can leave with him. And then John Gruden is begging for a job back into the NFL. Even though I think he's making enough money with the Barstools and all that other stuff. And also he got all that money from the Raiders contract too. That's an all-star coaching staff for sure. That's a lot of chefs in the kitchen though. How they would gel and mesh, I don't know about that one. It's a lot of egos in that coaching staff. A lot of egos. Everybody feeling like they should be the guy. That's a lot. Shout out to is this Mike on Sports says number 1 Big Dash knows, number 2 New York Giants. My hip hop channel, my sports channel. Now shout out to you, man. If you're not subscribed to Is This Mike on Sports, make sure you guys go ahead and do that, man. I didn't know you had a music channel too. I didn't know that. I had to check that out, man. Drop the link or send me the link in one of these messages, or either send it to me on Twitter or something so I can check it out. I don't know how that works in the chat. I don't think you can really put the links in the chat like that. I haven't figured that out yet. I do so much yapping. I still haven't figured out all of the different things that you can do. And shout out to my man Drew. My man Drew knows that. Drew showed me a bunch of stuff. Pause. He showed me a bunch of different ways to work certain systems and stuff like that, whether it's StreamYard and then also other applications out there. So shout out to my man Drew, man. Drew knows. I just turn the mic on and talk, man. And then I get down and it edits a little bit. That's what I'm doing. I like to talk Giants football. Jarius says settle with Flores and Tomlin if he's available. I get beat up a lot over wanting Flores, man, especially on Twitter. They do not like Brian Flores on Twitter. Like the people that like the idea, they support it. But the people that don't like the idea of Brian Flores they flood in the comments. And I understand. Again, I know it's a long shot. People look at me and they think I'm dumb. Well, he's suing. I said it earlier in the stream. I understand he's suing the New York Giants and he's suing the NFL. I'm talking when I say make it right, because that's what my tweet said. Giants, make it right, hire Brian Flores. When I say make it right, I assume that people knew what I was talking about making right, and it's the lawsuit. Make the lawsuit right. Go ahead and settle. Get that man his bag and then hire him as the head coach of the New York Giants. That's what I mean by that. Drew says, 2 giant goofballs. My man Drew says, Gruden is the OBJ of coaches. He would take any job offer to be a head coach in the NFL. It's sad. It's funny because it's true, and it's sad because it's true. Because OBJ would want nothing more but to be on a team right now, making some money. OBJ will play for the Jets right now. Respectfully, he'll play for the Titans right now. He'll play for all these teams right now. He'll play for the Vikings, and they don't even got a quarterback right now. I don't think JJ's coming back this week. I don't know. Maybe. Hopefully JJ's back when we play them next week. Hooks Rub says, what about Jim Harbaugh? DC Mike McDaniel as OC. Well, first of all, Jim Harbaugh, hold on. Jim ain't going, you mean John? Talking about John Harbaugh is the Ravens coach. He was a special teams coordinator when he got that job. So he ain't really was coaching offense or defense. Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator, like as far as I know, the Miami Dolphins, they're on like a 4-game winning streak. He probably saved his job the last couple of weeks. I missed out on some super chats. My bad. Good Lord. The Big Moo, $2. Oh, it's only like 2 minutes late. Okay. My bad, Big Moo. He says, why is it taboo to grab a punter, kicker in the draft? Because they're always sitting there in free agency. I mean, or as UDFAs. But they're also so important. So I understand what you mean. You got to be fantastic in college to get drafted, whether you're a punter or a kicker. Like you got to be the best of the best of the best and best for like 4 years all the time he was in college to get drafted. And even when you get drafted, who was the guy? Jake Moody, the 49ers drafted Moody, I think, in like the 5th round. And here we are 3 years later. He's kicking for an entirely different team. That's why I think it's taboo. But at the end of the day, when you're the New York Giants and other teams that are out here begging for a punter, begging for a kicker, you would think that it would be not as taboo to get one of those guys. Shout out to Papa Joe in the building. Shout out to my man Joseph Wilcox with the $5 super chat. How you doing, Joe? Both Gruden and Flores both have lawsuits not happening. Again, it's wishful thinking. I can dream. I understand it's a dream. I understand it's not likely. I understand that it's not probable either. And I'm just talking about Flores because I don't want Gruden. But it is possible. Not probable. Maybe like a 0.0000245 chance of happening. But it's still possible. Not probable. That Dark Francis Oklahoma kicker would be great if he comes out. I don't know anything about the Oklahoma kicker. I don't look at kickers. The only time I ever think about kickers is when I'm cursing them out or cursing my TV out. That's the only time I really think about kickers. Or if Dallas is playing and that kicker can kick almost a 70-yard field goal. That's the only time I'm really thinking about kickers and when they're failing the New York Giants. Other than that, it is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to that dark friend with the $5 super chat. Says Mentor showed he can F up the Eagles. He did. Shout out to Jesse Mentor, defensive coordinator for the Chargers. Definitely helps him for our coaching search. You know what's crazy? One name that was super hot like 3 weeks ago was Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for the Packers. Then we played him, and Jameis Winston had that defense in the blender, and then it kind of calmed down with Hafley. But Hafley's still up there too. But it all the talk of Hafley calmed down a lot, at least from what I was seeing in my timeline. A lot of people bring up Hafley still, but it's not like it was. Yeah, it's not like how it was, when Dable first got fired. Elijah says Gruden can literally still coach his ass off. Why are we comparing him to an old washed up OBJ as if Gruden is some scrub of a coach? Andrew, I'm going to let you go ahead and handle that because he's directing that at you. I'm going to leave it alone. I already told you how I feel about Gruden, man. I think the game has kind of like passed him by. I'm not sure if he still has the same effect as he did before, given the issues that he had. And also, when he did have the job with the Raiders, when he signed that 10-year contract, he was 4 years into that contract, and the Raiders weren't any better. He might have kept them afloat, but they really weren't competing in the conference, as far as I can remember, before he ended up getting dismissed from his job. So how much effect does John Gruden have now, or would have now? I don't know. I don't, like I said, he was good. He was a good coach to great coach at times. But again, it might have passed him by. I think he still wants to coach, though, for sure. You can see it. Who was it? It was Bobby Skinner and Jordan Renan had John Gruden on their channel. Shout out to those guys, and shout out for them to get John Gruden on the show. But you can tell, like, John Gruden was waiting for Jordan Renan to ask him if he was interested in the Giants job, because it looked like he was kind of saying it without saying it. So who wouldn't want this job? I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of people lined up. And I know he was probably waiting for Jordan Renan and said, well, how about you? So he can say, oh, no, and, we'll see. And then he can play it off or something like that. But John Gruden would definitely take the Giants job in a heartbeat, I think. I really do. And also Jay Gruden, his brother, said the same thing. John wants to coach. It is what it is. Says, can't compare the Raiders team to our team. Dash is a major difference. Absolutely. And I feel the same way when people try to say, Mike McCarthy. Well, Mike McCarthy had 3 straight 12 game winning, or 12 game winning seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. Well, the damn Dallas Cowboys ain't the New York Giants. To your point, the Raiders ain't the damn Giants. It could be different. And you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. No, Ford Expedition. No. I need him to be exactly where he is day to day, handling the offensive line. How about Carmen Bricillo as head coach? No. Let him be an offensive lineman and do what he's doing. I don't want to change what he's doing. Joseph Wilcox says, John Gruden told Jackson he was like Evel Knievel. Pardon my spelling, didn't know who he was. Evel Knievel? Wait a minute. You didn't know who Evel Knievel was? Come on now. Papa Joe. You didn't know who Evel... no, Dart didn't know who Evel Knievel was. Sorry. Good Lord, I was about to say Papa Joe. I'm That's my bad. Yeah. Dart didn't even know where the Atlantic Ocean was. You saw him in Hard Knocks. He didn't even know where he was. They said, "Oh, the ocean is over there." He said, "What ocean?" The Atlantic Ocean. I was sitting here bugging like, "Oh, wait a minute. You don't even know where you are on the map." So of course he doesn't know who Evel Knievel is. I'm pretty sure he knows now. I'm pretty sure his dad told him. I see a lot. Ruben also on the Gruden bandwagon. Okay. And then Grump says Gruden is super overrated. I got a hot take when it comes to John Gruden. I remember when John Gruden went to Tampa Bay and they won the Super Bowl, right? And I always felt that was Tony Dungy's roster that he won that Super Bowl with. I believe that. Yeah. It is what it is, though. And that's like I said, he coached them that year. He won that Super Bowl. I think they had the makings already, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Education Unpacked says Dart has nuts that aren't attached to bolts. That's one way of saying it. Oh, that's crazy. Shout out to my man, Coach Ward in the bill. I didn't even know you was here, Coach. Shout out to Coach Ward with the $5 super chat. Says, we have no proof Gruden can coach his own team. He won a Super Bowl. Just said it. He won a Super Bowl in Tampa with another coach's players. Raiders, he drafted bums, and teams was cheeks. I appreciate the backup. That's a fact, Coach Ward. So it's kind of Tony Dungy's team, man. As soon as Tony Dungy left, he goes there in Tampa too, and at the end of the day, that roster, that Tampa Bay Bucks roster that he won with, that defense, yeah, cruise control. See some other people agreeing as well. Shout out to Joseph Wilcox, $5 super chat says, I know I'm old, but what's up with the pocketbook dart? Oh boy. Had walk into the Pats game. Don't kill me now. I don't understand the man purse either. But I have learned to accept the man purse because these kids believe that it's style. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Kids do it. They like it. I would never do it. I realize the more I complain about it, the older I sound, so I'm going to leave it alone. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. I keep my wallet in my pocket. Some of these guys got so much money, maybe they need a purse for it. I don't know. I just won't do it. I just won't do it. That's just me. Ruben says, I only want him as an offensive coordinator, not the head coach. Listen, if I think John Gruden would accept the offensive coordinator position now too. But again, I think it's a lot. It's egos, man. It's egos. Drew said it's a satchel. Indiana Jones had. He kept his whip in it, didn't he? Isn't that where he kept his whip in the satchel? Am I bugging? I don't think Dart got a whip. A satchel is crazy. You know, it's a satchel. It's a satchel. Yeah, you can call it that for sure. You can call it that. Didn't the Hangover make fun of the man purse? Did they? They might have. Quake says no comment. Hey, listen, if you got one, you got one. I just wouldn't do it. Oh, it's a quote from the Hangover. Okay, all right. I gotta go back. I've saw the Hangover like twice, and it's been a while. Joe says, Dash, it was not just the man purse. The color was. I got to go back and look now. I thought he had a duffel. That might have been the game before that, though, when he had the big duffel, like the Louis Vuitton duffel. It looked like, listen. Have you seen Stephon Diggs walking to the stadium? Have you seen Deebo Samuel in his outfits? Yeah. Not my cup of tea, but you see the NBA players walking into the locker room. Good Lord. They call it style, though. It is what it is. A Merce is funny. Merce. I blame the NBA. That's a fact, Hooks. The NBA started it, man. And you know what's crazy? Remember who was it? David Stern was mad at the way that Allen Iverson was walking into games because he had the super baggy clothes, the big T-shirts, and then they started the dress. They had the dress code for the NBA, and they ran with it after that. Ran with it out of a response to Allen Iverson and the way that he would dress. Coach Ward says sassy beyond relief. That's a whole nother subject, man. That's a whole nother subject. Debo be Debo be looking crazy out here. Like Deebo Samuels look like he got to jump to get his pants on. That's how tight them pants is, man. It's crazy, man. And we already know Debo carries some weight on him too, man. So you know he might have to lay across the bed to get them pants on. I don't even want to talk about it no more. I'm uncomfortable. Atlantic JM says they should make NBA coaches wear a suit again. I like the suits, but it's hot on the sideline. I don't mind the I don't mind the long sleeves with the pant. I don't mind that for the coaches. The suits is cool though. I just remember Van Gundy getting stomped out in the suit. He was holding on to Marcus Camby's leg. Not Marcus. Whose leg was that he was holding on to? When they had that brawl. It wasn't Marcus Camby. Whose leg was it? Was it Alonzo Mourning? Whose leg was Van Gundy holding on to that time when he? I just remember the video of Van Gundy just holding on to somebody's legs getting dragged. But the NBA coaches in the suits, man. Alonzo Mourning, yeah, okay. Bring back the suits. Forget it. Shout out to Van Gundy. That old man, listen, it is what it is. I ain't gonna start reminiscing. PJ Brown. Yeah. PJ Brown. I think it was PJ Brown. They both played for the Heat. It might have been PJ Brown. I could, like, me just trying to think about it now, I could see either one of those guys. I could see it being Alonzo Mourning, and I could see it being PJ Brown. It was some good brawls, man. NBA has some good brawls, man. Elijah says, Dash, do you think Wan'Dale Robinson gets 1K yards this season? Yeah, I think he gets it. He's on like 100 and some change away. He got like 860 something yards right now. He's gonna hit that 1K for sure. He might, and to somebody's point, he might get that against the Commanders this week. I'm waiting for a 400-yard game from Dart though. If I'm being honest, I need to see Dart cook. I want to see Dart cook with Kafka. The way that Jameis Winston was cooking with Kafka. Give me 250, 300. I'll settle for 250, 300. It ain't got to be 400 yards. Give me 250, 300, and I'll take it. I just saw Shedeur Sanders throw for 360. 3 touchdowns and 1 on the ground. I want to see it from Dart too. Joseph Wilcox bringing everybody right back down to earth. I just want to win. That's a fact. And that, you know what's crazy? I was only supposed to do this show for an hour. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark. Shout out to the 113 people still in the building. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. And again, all I ask is just to hit the like button at the end of the day. Just hit the like button. It does wonders, for these channels, man. And I'll say that for all, Giants content creators. Subscribers is dope. I love having subscribers. The like button. Hit the like button, man. It does more than you guys even know. For you guys that have your own YouTube channels, you already know what the like button does. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to get to a couple more comments, man. Then I'm going to get on out of here, man. Elijah says, I need at least 300-yard passing game from Jackson Dart. Most he has had is 282 against the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's had some good performances, though. Dart has put it together. I want to see him with his mechanics get settled in. A lot of the throws that you see that are short or either too long is because his foot placement is not there because he's either on the move and stuff like that. I want to see him stand and deliver. But I do not want to stop him from taking off like we saw Mike Kafka do last week when he called the game, or in the Patriots game. He seemed like he had the handcuffs on Dart. His legs are a part of his game. As much as I want to see him operate out of the pocket, we know that his legs are a part of his game. And I don't want to change him. I want Dart to be Dart. I just want to see more yards in the air for sure. Coach Ward says Dart, Sanders, Ward would be top 3 quarterbacks in this without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm an Alabama fan, and I don't really like Ty Simpson. I don't know if that's saying much to people. Ty Simpson, he had some good games. I like his athleticism. He's more athletic than people give him credit for. But there's a reason why so many people played over him. He was at Alabama for a long time. I don't know about Ty Simpson. Mendoza, I like Mendoza a lot. I like him more and more the more I see him. He is super duper corny. He's so corny that I love it. I love it. Because I believe that he believes everything he says. It seems authentic to me. I really do I like when people are their authentic selves. And Fernando Mendoza, although I believe he's on the corny side, I believe he is 100% authentic, and I like him even more because of that. And also, he showed some toughness in that Big Ten championship. He showed that he can make all the throws. He showed that he can move a little bit. And he showed that he can be the top quarterback in this draft. And also, that's a win-win for me because if the better he plays, the more valuable the pick becomes and the more draft capital we can get. It is what it is. I saw somebody says Jackson Dart equals Will Levis. No. I understand where you're going. What you mean, Cliff? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Ask Wandell Robinson. He played with both of them. We can ask Wandell. Who he likes more. He's better than Will Levis. He's definitely better than Will Levis. Will Levis got a cannon too, though. I think Will Levis might have the stronger arm, but Dart is the better quarterback. Better quarterback than Will Levis. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Tim from what? Tim from Online Big Blue said that? Said Tim is losing his mind saying Giants should draft Mendoza if number one. That's what Tim said? I'm going to go holler at Tim. I like Mendoza. I don't like him more than Dart. Mm-mm. I don't like Mendoza more than Shedeur Sanders. But you guys already know how I felt about Shedeur Sanders. Coach Ward said Dart hated said Mendoza is better. LOL, I can't stand our fan base. Sometimes Dart was a dude for Ole Miss in the SEC. I got to holler at Tim now. Jill said, come on, Cliff. Come on, Clifton. Atlantic Jim says Mendoza is like the pastor's kids who is a dog at anything he does. That's a fact. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a pastor's kid. He looked like he was a PK. I think it's dope that when he got hurt, his brother is the backup quarterback. That's dope to me. Your brother is just your backup quarterback. That's dope. I think Rutgers had the same thing, but I don't like the Rutgers quarterbacks. Shout out to Rutgers though. Shout out to Rutgers. I lost in the high school playoffs on Rutgers Field. It is what it is though. BX created hip hop. That's a fact. He said that dog friend Tim is a quitter, can't take the heat of being called Mr. Negative. I don't think Tim got any issues with being called Mr. Negative. Tim is Tim. Shout out to Tim. Tim keeps it real, and he keeps his opinion for sure. So shout out to Tim, and also Tim was one of the first guys that showed me a lot of love too when I first started my channel. So shout out to Tim. Me and Tim don't agree on a lot of things when it comes to our views too. I'm a little bit more positive. He is, to your point, on the negative side. But me and Tim, I rock with Tim for sure. That's my guy, Tim. Shout out to him. Sean says Dart's biggest remaining stat games likely will be the season finale against the Cowboys. Cowboys don't stop any offense. That they got a defensive line though. They coming along too, man. Dallas is coming along. Drew says yes. Tim is a much nicer guy than even he wants to admit. Nah, Tim is cool. He got some animosity sometimes for the Giants for sure. He is not easily fooled, which is a good thing. I remember when I was optimistic about this season, he was like, Dash, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And he was right. But for me, I got to be I am positive. I'm positive till I can't be positive anymore. And you guys see that side of me right now when it's time to fire everybody. I go through cycles. It is what it is. Elijah says, Dash, I think Jackson Dart holds the ball too long at times. Just throw it away if nobody's open. Doesn't have to take off every time. Yes, I do believe he does hold on to the ball too long. I called it the whole point of got to make a play. I felt the same way about Shedeur Sanders. At some point in time, throw it into the stands. Live to fight another play is what I like to say. He does hold the ball long. But it is because he's trying to make a play. He does not give up on plays, which I do like. I like that about him. So for me, it's just like you have your good, you have your bad. You hopefully that certain things with time and development he gets better at. But right now, again, we're talking about a rookie quarterback. How many starts has he had? 9 starts? Was 9 starts? I think it's 9 starts. So, we'll see what happens, man. I think he'll get better. There's a lot of things he needs to clean up. He's not perfect at all. And that's why he was drafted where he was drafted. And that's why prior to the draft, he was looked at where he was looked at. Like, remember, once the season was over, if you looked up PFF had him ranked in like the hundreds. 200 at sometimes. Nah, not 200s. They had him. He was in the hundreds. They had him going in the third, fourth round, and then he slowly made his way up to the first, to second round really, and then the Giants traded up to get him. So let's keep him where he is now. Has he flashed? Absolutely. Does he look like he can be the future franchise quarterback for the New York Giants? Absolutely. But he still has a lot of improving to do. And I think that's the reason why he should be playing these last 4 games for the people that don't want him to play. He should play. Simeon says, Dash, will you be doing a video for each position we need to address in the draft? I will be doing some videos. But if I did a video for each position that we need in the draft, that would be offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, running back, wide receiver, possibly a tight end, cornerback, and a safety. That's a lot of videos. That's a lot of videos because we got a lot of needs. But again, it's a long, off season. If I feel like doing those type of videos, I'm definitely going to give you a couple of those videos for sure. And then I will be changing it up. So obviously, when the season is over, we won't have the war rooms on Wednesdays like we do now. And I'll still be filling that slot with something else. And it could be a prospect discussion, episode on Wednesdays. We'll see what happens. Two Giant Goopball says, what we need in the draft will be based on what we do in free agency. 100%. 100%. For me, you fill a lot of those holes in free agency, and whatever you don't fill in free agency, hopefully you fill most of them. When you get to the draft, the whole objective is to pick the best player available. Unfortunately, the Giants have not been able to do that, so we draft where needs meet value. Because after our free agency, we still have a lot of holes. But it is what it is. I think the closest we came to BPA was Abdul Carter last year. We didn't need another edge. To be honest, we didn't need another edge, but we drafted him. So I think that's the closest the Giants have ever been in recent years to BPA. To be honest. But we're going to close this thing out, man. I'll hit the 2-hour mark. Let me make sure I hit all the super chats. I think I did. Hold on. No, I didn't. Hold on. Did I get this one? Oh, no. I got that one. I don't think I got this one. Did I? Oh, no, I did get that one. So I got all the super chats, man. So, yeah, we're going to close this thing down. I'll probably do another video this week for, keys to victory. Then, obviously, we got the Late Night Giants Talk on Saturday. Hopefully, I'll see you guys at that one. But, yeah, I'm going to close this thing out. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody. Hold on. I got another question. Hold on. Question for Shane. Paying Slayton a new contract would force us to let Wan'Dale walk after this season. However, why did they not bring up Juice Wells so that Dart can build chemistry and be a wide receiver 3? Big Kane. Great question. I do think that Slayton contract does hurt the chances of Wan'Dale getting a deal here. I think the $13 million that he's asking for, or rumored that he's asking for, is a great number. A great number for Wan'Dale Robinson, but it might not work because of what we're paying Darius Slayton, even though we have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract. So there's always ways to make it work, but if it makes sense for the Giants, we will see, when that comes up. As far as Juice Wells, and I don't even think Juice Wells is on the roster anymore. Juice Wells had had chemistry with Jackson Dart already going back to college, right? He had the one season with Jackson Dart when he transferred, I think, from South Carolina. So the chemistry was already there. It was already built in. Juice Wells didn't make the team because coaching staff felt like guys that we kept were better than him. We really didn't get a chance to see Juice Wells, which I believe he would have been able to make some plays. He just didn't get a chance to. And then my man Coach Ward says because Juice is mid. It is what it is. It is what it is. But listen, a lot of these UDFAs, man, they just don't get the chances, man. They just don't get the chances when a lot of the fan base believes that they should. I thought Juice Wells should have got a chance. I thought little Jordan Humphrey could have got more of a chance. We look at who's the guy? Look at Hodgins. He just came back. He's getting all of the chances. It's about who they're familiar with. and who they trust, who the coaches trust, not just Jackson Dart. So, it just didn't end up working out for Juice Wells. I do believe they probably keep him on the 90-man roster going into the summer. Maybe. Depends on the coaching staff. But outside of that, man, best of luck to Juice Wells, because I do think that he can be an NFL wide receiver if he gets the chances to prove it. I think he has the tools to do it. Just got to prove it. Drew says, but what about Jalen Hyatt? Then I gave up on Jalen Hyatt, man. Officially, it's over, man. It's over. JDJ says, good stream, Dash. We out of here. Yeah, we out of here, man. Shout out to the G-Men. BX created hip hop. That's a fact. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.